Hello, everyone. How are we all this Saturday morning? It's been over a week since I've been on. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry really because um I went away for a week and that's good. What was I on last Saturday? I'm not sure. Let's see. Do 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 do. July 25th. Yeah, it was. So it's been a week since I've been on. So let me share this out and then we can get started. Okay, so share it on Facebook, but share on Twitter. Shared on the the Twitters. Let's grab the switch. Okay, let's going live. We'll go share that. Tim Timity, Tim Timity, Tim Timity, Tim Tim. Okay, shared everywhere. There we go. We are ready to start doing stuff. Let's put our headphones on and we'll get in the room, on air room, and see if anybody joins us. Unfortunately, I gotta make sure my headphones are working too. Do, 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 do. On air. Oh, we need to set virtual camera. That way anybody in there can see what's going on. There we go. Everything looks okie dokie, Smokey. So we are, of course, still working on this cityscape. Okay, and the cityscape is underneath, so we have it right. You know what? I think I'm just gonna let the rest of that stand with what it is, because I like this way that it is. So we're gonna take the green out. And because I don't really want to do all that much more work on that. Sunset. There we go. So that page, well, we do need to start doing some lighting and shooting a little bit, I guess, for all these pages, which we've done. Okay. So, let's, I guess, start from panel 1. Makes the most sense. Let's grab 1, 2, 3. So we will. Oh no, this is main, and then main. Shading. And lighting. Okay, so we'll take all these colors, put them in there. Well, okay, so there we go. Go into shading here, add a layer, and we will come down. Okay, so I'm trying to. A tool slider, which I don't really want. Am I missing? A window? Am I missing something? Oh, okay, yeah, it's not showing something yet. I should have mixing brush. changing. There we go. Hey, Sketchbook. Good morning. How are you? Sketchbook. What have you been up to? Oh, Sketchbook. Did you hear Lorenzo died? Lorenzo Sleestak. Still waking up, but okay, otherwise. Yeah, I get that. Although it's been a while, well, a few of us just figured it out about a week or so ago. Working. Um, Not 100% sure. People hadn't heard from him a while, and then went looking and saw his obituary under his real name. A few of us know that. I'm not sure whether you know it or not, so I'm not going to reveal it here, obviously. And all the stuff in it added up. So yeah, he died like March 8th. Um, I had something up here a week or so ago. I've been away from a week, almost a week. Last Sunday, I was actually down in the States to something called Kingdom Bound at Darien Lake, Six Flags Darien Lake, the Christian Music Festival. Well, I think almost sort of thing. I know it because, like he ordered stuff from me, so, and I had to send it to him through the mail, so I knew his real name because of that. So cool. I was trying to quickly find the article that I saw. Well, the obit article. I probably touch on the article that I found a little bit. I did something not this past week, but the week before, called Honoring Lorenzo. It was a Wednesday. I drew up a altrusion. But I think, as you know, Lorenzo was a brother in Christ. Me and my mama actually talked to him many times off air. After he'd be on my show, and then we would get talking afterwards. Oh, wait, no, I didn't know that he was a follower of Messiah. He and I really only talked about entertainment and CG stuff. Ah, I stopped watching him when he was doing all the stuff with WC. I didn't like how a war campaign. Yeah. You know what? Hold on. Give me that. When was that? Unfortunately, I didn't watch him as much as I would have liked. My own life and all that. And I'll watch him a little bit. I miss him. He was a kind dude. Yeah, he was. He was definitely a kind dude. Good dude. Uh, and, it's yeah, but the great thing is we'll get to see him again one day. Although the thing is, with the obit that I saw of him, I actually got to finally see what he looked like. He was, I'll just say, a little bigger than I thought. Yeah, he was. It was a while back when he started having a role in the other war war camping guys. It's a bit weird, uh, into weird stuff, and they started to kidnap his channel. Okay, I don't remember that, but Not sure whether that happened after the last time I seen him or somewhere in the middle, but I don't think I saw any of that the last time I watched, so. He was one of us big boys. Now I really like him. We'll see him again. Yeah. Okay. Um, my kid is gonna have to know. You like hearing him on stream. Yeah. It's just a shame. The biggest part that I think is a shame is it took us so long to find out. I haven't technically talked to Dillard around Easter. I sent him a thing on Facebook saying Happy Easter. A few weeks later, he got back to me saying Happy Easter back. But other than that, I haven't heard from Dillard since before Christmas. Like I called him once, I think in November, um, with my new phone number, and I was supposed to call. I called him back like about 20 minutes later because busy or whatever, and he just hasn't got back to, never got back to me. So I'd like to be able to talk to Dillard. I should actually try and probably call him again. Maybe he, I'm not sure whether he would have put it thing. He had something going on in his life at the time. I don't know what. So, But yeah, not sure what else to say. Uh, channel. I forgot you have his number. Hope he's doing okay. I don't watch any of those guys anymore. Had to de-stress and declutter my life, so abandoned a lot of CG channels. Just watch useful and chill channels now. Yeah, well, Dillard hasn't streamed in I don't know how, probably a year or close to it. Let's see. Golden Patriot 1 year ago. Yeah, it was over a year ago for the Canadian Shield 3 launch. That was his last stream. Hey, I'm gonna pray and read. I'll be back. Okay. Okay. There we go. Hey, Flit, how are you? Oh, you're back. Neat. Yeah, I got back Thursday afternoon. How have you been in the past week? Oh, where did you go and what did you do? And was it fun? Well, yes, it was fun. Where'd I go? I went to Six Flags Darien Lake for an event that was happening there from last Sunday to Wednesday. Well, technically more Monday through Wednesday, although part of it, there was a little bit in the evening on the Sunday, called Kingdom Bound, which was basically a Christian music festival. So, um, listened to a whole bunch of music and rode some rides at Six Flags Darien Lake. Where did I? Uh, yeah, I got some CDs. Uh, there's one of them. There's another. Oh, Rick, no, don't stick your tongue in the pan. Another. This is actually the soundtrack to the movie Unsung Hero, which I'm not sure whether you've heard of. Rebecca St. James, a Christian music artist. It's a movie probably about her life or about her family's life coming to America. And there's the last one. The Kane family. They're just known as Kane. I'm not sure whether it's the best name for a Christian band, but hey, they can't help what their last name is, right? But how have you been doing? I've had printed up and been putting out some of the ash cans. Gave a couple out actually while I was at Kingdom Bound. The Kane family will make music as long as they're able. Waka waka. Good one, good one. Lit. Waka waka waka. Somebody thinks they're Fozzie Bear. Just gearing up for the busy time once my Canadian made scaffolding arrives. It will be non-stop work then. Ah, well, there's. I really like how Alpha's work looks in color. Yeah, same here. Well, depending on I still got to do the Canadian finish, the Canadian Shield one in color. Actually, you know what? There's something. What? Let's go over here. I'll let that save first. Let's turn that up for a moment. Control O. Alpha tends to use bolder lines, which makes his work easier for someone like me to read. I think that's one of the reasons I appreciate his work more. Yeah. I've never been a fan of thin, intricate line work. I can be, Im- I can be impressive if used sparkling, but too many people go overboard with it, which makes the work feel cluttered and messy. Some people who fill their work with readable, readable, and try to pass it off as detailed. being able to communicate the most information with the least amount of lines is peak, in my opinion. Yeah, I think I could agree with that. Okay. Hey, sketchbook. Line. I think it's supposed to be weight. Does with Tintin the amount of emotion his characters can convey with two simple dots is remarkable. We just took a short break from a shading Snowdrift 2 to we're just coloring in Snowdrift on the Snowdrift ash can that Flint did. Which I'm not sure whether anybody I haven't got it on my website. Hopefully this weekend I will have it on my website. Let me grab a link to the Global Comics version. Global. So hopefully this will take you to it to read. I think I got all that properly. And that's hair right there, right, Flint? Where I just colored. And this white part below it is the chair, right? Correct on both questions. Okay. That's why I like to have the artist nearby sometimes when I'm coloring. I do have some specific coloring and lighting notes on a few panels and pages since I know it may not be clear from the line work. Yeah. But right now I'm just doing this, but yeah, you have access to the whatchamacallit. I think you're an editor on it, on the Google Docs. You can type stuff like that in, highlight a certain area if you can see it, and type it in. Let me know. Because I just decided to do this on the spur of the moment. Just because you said about coloring in, um, what's his name? Alpha. So I figured I'd let you see at least Snowdrift colored in from this one part. See what you think. Hey, well, Raul, thank you. Oh yeah, thank you very much. How are you today, Raul? I'm in the on air if you want to come on, Raul. Or anybody, really. Good morning, Crossman. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Raul. Raul. Laugh out loud, Rick. I often color stuff as I'm working on it just to see what it looks like. Ah, did you color any of this while you were working on it to see what it looked like? Hey, boo boo. Let's go get a picnic basket. Ranger Smith is not around. Laugh out loud, yes. Ooh. Do you have it saved so you could share? I'd like to see that. Ha ha ha. Ooh, you're back. I thought you were living in a tent now. No, just for 4 days. I was living in a tent while I was camped out at Darien Lake in the United States. And I finally started shading and lighting panel page one. I'm just coloring in you were an American migrant for a few days. I wouldn't say migrant, but sure. I'd just say I was an American visitor because I came to visit you, the United States, to go to an event called Kingdom Bound. You know, it's not as great as everyone makes it seem now. I'm happy to see you back in Canada. I'm happy to be back in Canada. The States is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Because, man, were groceries expensive. I went to the Dollar General store, got like 2 packs of hot dogs, um, pack of hamburgers, a 4 pack of hamburgers, um, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, some mustard, some plastic cutlery, or something else. Another couple. Oh, bag of chips, and I think there was another thing or two, but $27 US. That's like almost $45 Canadian. I think all that probably would cost. I could get that for like somewhere called a Dollar General. So I could think I could get that for less than $30 Canadian. Uh, uh, Now you know it's not as great as everyone seems now. Oh, I already knew that. So you were squatting in New York? Well, no, I had paid for a campsite at Darien Lake so I could be there for the festival of Kingdom Bound. And I know you guys are just teasing me a little. I just didn't have to get you know. Rick is broadcasting from the upper ring of Tent City as part of the artist class. He gets special privileges, which include internet access. I like the Dollar General. I thought they were very expensive. Well, maybe not very expensive, but expensive. It's okay. We'll adopt Rick, and then we can access Canada land. That's your problem. You went to the Dollar General where no one knows to go to have. Well, there was nothing else around, so I've been living oof out off canned soup. It's good. It's always hilarious how shocked foreigners are at how ridiculously expensive it is to live in the U.S. Of now you know how reasonable my page rates are, Gross. I'm giving you a deal. He was in New York, Alpha. No Hebs there. Dang, a place with no Hebs. That's horrible. Yeah, and it was in a small town named Corfu. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. That's where Darien Lake is. So, and places like that are a lot more expensive to me, especially we've gone over this before, especially when you add in the exchange rate. Like it's probably a little bit more reasonable for Americans who aren't having to exchange their Canadian dollars into American dollars. You know. Now, mind you, I went to when I was in the U.S. Back like 7 or 8 years ago when I went to my first Alpha Omega Con. This was drawn by Flit in the chat. But when I went to my first Alpha Omega Con, I went to I think it was a Dollar Tree, some sort of dollar store. Uh, and that was in California. Actually, that wasn't too badly priced. The only thing I don't like about Darien Lake now, they are cashless. There was no ATMs there whatsoever. Did you happen to encounter the dreaded Shimura Corfu? No, I did not. Seeing as how, although it's in, what's your name of it? Go to the conventions in Florida. Well, I would like to for sure. Uh, my sketch, New York is expensive even for us Southerners, so I don't think it's just you. Also, Canada itself is very, very expensive. It seems a lot of videos of Canadians complaining about its government taxing them into oblivion. Yeah, there is definitely that, but if you know how to shop, shall we say, where to go, how to get where the deals are, it's not quite as bad, in my opinion, as most Canadians think put it out. But then again, I live in a bigger city, so I have easy access to stuff. Some of the Canadians that are complaining might be living in a very rural parts where it's hard to get to stuff and they've got to drive a little bit to get into anything decent. Like a big city that would, I need Rick to in live stream from Bucky's. I can't type today. And I think that's probably the way it is for wherever you're from. Hey, what's going on, Rick? You may have already mentioned, but how was the Kingdom Bound Music Festival? It was awesome. Actually, since some of you are here, I did this earlier for just Flit, but I'll do it for a bunch of yous now. Right there. Me on cam. Here's some of the stuff that I got. I got I got a bunch of CDs. Kane Family, as I mentioned before. Not sure whether it's the best name for a biblical band, Kane, but hey, they can't help what the family name is. Uh, Paul Blosch. Um, the soundtrack from Unsung Hero by what's the name of for King and Country? No, there was no Striper there. Uh, Sean Rodriguez. He was really good. Brick wants to pour shame that lower caste Canadian so bad, but is afraid of being pulled off before civil rights strike. CDs, what are those? This is I'm not Diane White music, Ryan Clare music. And the brothers McClurrick. These guys did a lot of worship there. They were really good. So I didn't get much else besides CDs. I got one other thing too, but it's a gift for somebody at Christmas. So hey, Saul changed his name. They can't do. Uh, those are called CDs, short for compact disc. It's what people used to listen to music on back in the 1900s, late 1900s. And Sketchbook definitely already knew that. He was just teasing, just in case you didn't know. Everyone liked the video. Strafer Alpha, how old are you? Most metalheads and old Gen X folks know that band. Okay, I got a question for the people that will know. What genre of music would you consider Skillet? Especially nowadays, Skillet. I'm old enough to know. Rick is going to be showing his age where he pulled a bunch of VSX tapes out of his closet. Although I do actually have a couple VHS tapes that I don't have them here in my room. They're in my storage unit packed away. You're gonna have to dust those bad boys off. I thought, my VCR eats my tapes every time I play them. I need a new VCR that won't gobble them up. I thought Alpha was younger than me. Alpha doesn't. Don't tell me you're older than me with great genes, because I don't think I can take looking older than another person than me. Well, I think I do that for you. You know, with being 53. No, Alpha, I believe, is a little younger than Skillet is contemporary hard rock, I'd say. The only reason I asked this question because me and a buddy that was with me there got into a little bit of a disagreement because I was saying Skillet was metal and he disagreed. Rick, don't tell Alpha I was praising his art earlier. It ruins the I hate everyone and everything image I've spent years of cultivating. Oh, and I don't think I saw an answer if you did answer. Do you have save the colored version that you did, the coloring version that you did of this? Or whatever you colored that I might be able to see? Um, Flit. And I think you just did that too, Flit, telling him you were praising his thing. Uh, I wish the metal was here to answer that argument. I mean, Skillet is kind of metal. They play metal concerts with secular metal bands. Flit, I never saw you compliment Alpha's art, so it didn't happen. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with the last panel on baseline. That's a good thing and a bad thing, I think. Means it's going to take you a little bit longer to finish off. I'm sure I have it somewhere. I'm just not sure which drive it's on at the moment. Ah, okay. Cool. Oh, whenever then, Rick. Are you still rocking that EG tablet? Yes, I am. That is what we are using right this second. I won't say the best investment I've ever made, but definitely a very. I'm not sure what the best investment I ever would have made, besides Christ, but definitely a really good investment. We can say that. How about that? Uh, it's mostly flats though, so I don't think it would color much differently than how do you color. Yeah. Oh, I get that. I wasn't expecting, talking about art investment. Okay. Let's actually put one extra layer here. And let's come down just a touch or two on the thing. Because I just noticed you have some fingernails here. If you still have that PC I built, that motherboard can go up to a Ryzen 3000 series without a motherboard update. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm still using. The one that you built, Sketch. This is page one of the Ashcan, and I just, on a whim, I just decided to color in Snowdrift on it, on the one panel, see what it would look like, because Flit was saying he liked how good Flit's art was looking in color, so I figured I'd put Snowdrift in color in one of the panels. So this is page one of that. We of course have page one here of Snowdrift number 2. Which we started getting the lights and shades in on panel 1. Allowing me to use Windows 11 is not necessarily a good thing, Sketchbook. You say that like it's a good thing, but I don't think it's a good thing. And as I said earlier, if anybody wants to check out the Ashcan for free, it is on Global Comics. No, Rick Flit just wanted to compare how good his would look colored compared to Alpha's art. That is the obvious hate. Oh, so you don't want because 10. I don't care. If I thought I could run stuff on like 95 or 98 or me, I'd go back to it. Because, they always get progressively worse. And I don't want Windows 11, not if I can help it. But I'm sure I'll get something eventually that has it on, and I'll have to get used to it, and I'll hate every moment of it. Rick, you sound like a buddy of mine. He's always saying I'd go back to WinXP if I could. Yeah, well, I'm not sure whether 98 wasn't too bad. It was all right. 95 was great, and I think 98 wasn't too bad. I think it was basically the same. Few minor upgrades. They didn't really change anything. And Me, I think, was all right too. But after Me, they just keep changing it so dramatically, and it's like, really? This doesn't function anything like the old one. No, I will not. Resistance is not futile. No. And hello, Alpha. No. Well, you don't have to color. You have to draw. So how are you today? Yeah, that's uh Sketchbook says Windows Me was the worst until they dropped Vista. And that's always the way. The new one is always the worst until they drop the next one. I take it you're showing your screen. Yeah, I get what you mean. But it's not showing, you said? Oh, yeah. Uh, you want to talk
There we
for a
go.
second? There, now they can hear you.
You can hear me. Oh, they couldn't hear me at first?
No.
Oh, they thought you were talking to yourself. Oh, I'm happy that you remigrated to Canada. Living in a tent isn't that great. Didn't stay long enough for the benefits, so.
Uh, Wait, you're talking to someone? Because I can't hear them at all. Can we meme Rick replacing Windows with Gen 2? I don't even know what Gen 2 is. Alpha says Rick is too focused on snow trips to realize Alpha is muted. Shameful. Alpha? What Alpha? There is no Alpha. We have an Alpha. A wild Alpha has appeared. Okay.
Have arrived.
He has arrived.
That reminds me of a voice I did for Smite. It's like Dark Nightmare's Cupid skin. I was just doing a Stitch impersonation. Lilo and Stitch. I got paid for it. That was fun.
Sketchbook says I lived in a tent in I lived in a tent in the desert for a year. There were benefits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because Sketch is military or ex-military. I'm not sure. Anyways, and then Flit says, "I'm glad you're back in Canada, you filthy Canuck." Saying that you're saying that.
You can't say that.
I think he can, and he did.
Not on YouTube.
Uh, the original Lilo voice actress passed this year, said Sketch, and he said, former military. Flit, that's
Oh,
a
okay.
shirt. Well, definitely sorry to hear that she passed. But I guess everybody has to go sometime. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to do much more to the panel than that at first, but what do you think, Flit? Sketchbook says, did Rick just call himself a filthy Canuck? Don't Canada shame yourself, Rick. That's her job. But it does look good colored, that's for sure. Okay, so we were starting to work on the shading. Flip's art is so clean and it really allows the bright colors of her uniform to pop. We also lost the young actress from Godzilla X Kong movies, the deaf girl. She was only 18. Very sad. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Very sad. Very, very sad.
It's that for a Saturday morning.
Looks fine. I don't like looking at my work because I see all the things that could have done better. Yeah, I definitely get that, Flit. I do that a bit too. Okay. What cartoons would you all be watching at this time when you were around 10? Smurfs, Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man. I
I
forget
forgot what
exactly.
came on at 9:30.
I forget what came on.
9:30.
I forget what
You know,
came on.
X-Men. X-Men came on at 11. So it was like one of the last cartoons. Wait, no, it came on at 10, and then Big Guy and Rusty. I guess Power Rangers was on right now. But this is before Kids WB, so most of the WB cartoons were on Saturdays in the year I was. Probably Tasmania, Power Rangers, Animaniacs, Batman, and then they had Spider-Man and the X-Men, and then later on they had Big Guy and Rusty, the
Yeah, Boy Robot,
and then they
which
had
you did,
yeah, and they
which
had
you
the
didn't know a couple weeks ago.
Yep, I didn't know it was Frank Miller either.
Flit says, "Nice try, my Fedbook 340. You're not getting me to dox my age, buddy." And then Massive says, "Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in a Half Shell, Turtle Power." Okay, he didn't say all that, but you know.
Oh, well, that came on CBS for me.
He just said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I added the whole singing the theme song thing.
Ah,
Just because I thought it'd be cute to add it.
hey, everybody loves that song. It's catchy.
My sketchbook says, "Flit, I don't need you to answer that to find out your age. You being on the internet is enough for that."
Ooh.
Sketch says my Rick's cartoons would have been 70s cartoons, 70s and 80s. I was 10 in 83 and a little bit of 84. Well, a little half of 83 and half of 84. Seeing as how my birthday's pretty much just in the middle, being June 24th. Yeah, me too, Massive, Panda, TMT, or anything on U.S. cartoon train.
Let's say Cartoon Express. Uh, yeah, they had the Mortal Kombat, Defenders of the Realm cartoon, and the Street Fighter cartoon.
I don't remember
And
those. Maybe they didn't come out
yep,
in Canada.
it was based on the movie that Van Damme was in. Raul Julia.
Flint says, did Sketch just confirm he's a Fed? Sort of. You know, he was ex-military, so the military's federal, right?
Hmm.
And then my sketch says, damn, I was still wearing nappies in 83. I'm an orange man Fed. Oh, we are always watching. Says, sketch. Uh, yeah, Alpha is right. Cartoon Express.
Hmm. The USA Network.
I'd probably be watching the Muppet Babies too. Yeah, I watch Muppet Babies.
I
Well,
did too.
I'd still watch Saturday morning cartoons if they actually had them. Well, and if they had
Yep.
anything decent. Nowadays, they just don't have anything decent in cartoons, no matter what. Or not much. I guess X-Men 97 isn't too bad, but I haven't watched that yet. But that's not exactly a Saturday morning cartoon, is it?
Nope. Actually, up the rating of it. Now they say cuss words and stuff.
Now we know how to get Flit to stop commenting. Just copying it. Yes, but the thing is, not how to get him to stop commenting. How do you get him to start commenting?
Hmm.
Dude, Muppet Babies were awesome. Very creative and real to how we played
Hmm.
with our friends. The 80s, 90s, and early thousands were the best 30 years worth of cartoon content, hands down. Yep.
Hmm. When they found CG animation, they got lazy. They're like, hey, we don't have to draw anymore.
Well, they have to draw a little to, especially at first,
Mm,
draw the cartoons or the characters at least once, and then figuring, then you need to animate them, which is, hard.
yeah.
Well, animating is hard.
Yeah, the way I do it, but the way they do it, You just need to learn how to use a program because most of the 2D stuff is puppets now. You draw it one time, they add a skeleton to it, and then they hand it off to the animators, and they're like, "Okay, move it around."
Massive said they did away with Saturday morning cartoons with all the anime. I won't say that necessarily, Sketch, because there was Robotech, Battle of the Planets, Astro Boy, and probably others that I don't know about that are anime that were out during the 70s and 80s, and maybe even the 90s. Sailor Moon for the 90s, I think, at least.
Mhm.
So, and some of those were put into the Saturday morning cartoon slots.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's cheaper to just buy something that Japan already animated and then just change the voices.
uh, Sketchbook agreed with Massive about the 80s and 90s comment. Massive Panda says, right, implementing too much CGI into real made things, stiff and uneasy on the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Sketchbooks, man, when they imported Japanese cartoons, when they got lazy, and now Japan is mad at the massive tourism. It's all their own fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I tend to disagree a little with that because, like I said, we had a bunch of anime. Although I must admit, I didn't know about it. I didn't realize that it was anime. That it was stuff coming from Japan or whatever. And probably most kids didn't at that time.
Oh, they didn't want you to know.
Well, they didn't want you to know. Most kids didn't care back then. It was just a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't care where a cartoon came from, just as long as it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sketchbook says, "Yep, Alpha dubbing cheaper than creating your own cartoons, so studios and networks stopped investing in American and Western stuff too." Well, it didn't help. I think in the '90s, early thousands, a lot of cartoons, say like the X-Men, ended up only with like 13 episodes a season. X-Men
Mm-hmm.
and Spider-Man, only 13 episodes a season. That's what, 2.5 months worth? Or 3 months worth? And then always repeating. Where most other cartoons earlier than that had so many, like if you go back to, you know, the Warner Brothers with, Bugs Bunny and stuff like that, there's so many of those.
I don't think there's as many as you'd think there are.
Oh, I'll agree with
Oh,
that. But somehow, like you have like stuff like, although this isn't exactly anime, you have stuff like Gilligan's Island or Star Trek, where there's like maybe 3 seasons worth of episodes, or even the Flintstones, and somehow you think there's like double or triple the amount that there is.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, how the heck did they do that without anybody noticing?
Yeah, they didn't run. Star Trek didn't run the whole. They got canceled early because they were supposed to do a 4-year mission or
Five
5-year mission.
5 year.
Yeah. That's
Massive.
how many seasons they were expecting.
Well, I don't think that's how many they were expecting initially because they start off in the middle of it because they could technically be in the third or fourth year. You don't know. You know, it's not like they get
Mm,
aboard it and they say, "Oh, this is year one." You're just dropped into the middle of it. Hey, Metal. Metal says, singing the seas. Massive says, one of my favorite eras was the late 90s and early thousands when you still considered a weirdo or a loser if you watched the anime before normies
mhm.
infiltrate it. No offense to normies. Sketchbook says, plus gaming becoming the new mainstream medium. Most of it's Japanese, so media revolved around the stuff. The 90s was the last real fresh Western stuff. The 2000s tried but failed. Massa
Mhm.
Massa Metal, what's up? Sketchbook, yeah, that's because Spider Man and X Men were narrative driven, and that it's hard to keep for 26 episodes. Also expensive. The Transformers and Turtles were situational based episodes. They can right. Um, Spider Man and X Men they weren't that narrative driven. They seem no different to me than Turtles or Transformers.
I think what he
So,
means is that it was serialized. You had to watch in a certain order, otherwise you wouldn't know what was going on.
yeah, but usually they did previously on, so you know that catches you up. You know, if you happen to miss
Mhm.
something, but for the most part,
That
uh,
does help.
you know, unless you're watching something, you know, if you're watching anything before he gets the symbiote, say Spider Man, even afterwards, you know, because that was only a short arc, you know.
Mhm.
And again,
Previously on Spider Man. Previously on X Men.
I'll go back and
Previously on Snowdrift.
uh, I think maybe I could agree a little bit more on X Men being narratively driven, but Spider Man, I'm not sure whether I'd agree. And Sketchbook said yes, exactly, Alpha. He does do voiceover work. Sketchbook says
Mhm.
Alpha needs to do voiceover work.
I do. I'm actually speaking into my voiceover microphone. Need a cheaper one because there's a boom mic, a boom arm for my microphone, and it's in my way all the time when I'm streaming. Need a headset or something.
Um, are Rick streams episodic or serialized? Bit of both.
I don't know.
Massive Panda, for example, when Dragon Ball Z, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, etc., first started coming to the States, if the bullies or cute girls found out you watched stuff, it was over for you. Your families basically had to change their last name and move to another state.
Hmm.
Batman the animated series was less serialized.
Yeah, they almost remind me of Twilight Zone episodes or Alfred Hitchcock. was surprised they could do so much in 30 minutes. It actually,
Wow.
the pacing of those episodes feels like an hour to me when I think back to them. But they're 30 minutes.
Actually, 20 minutes because technically you got to take a time out for commercials, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's like 22 or something. But yeah, the pacing is so good, it makes you feel like you're sitting through a longer story. Looking up reference right now for this pose I'm trying to do. See if I got everything right. Mostly the fist. I want to make sure I got the fist correct.
Uh, Sketchbook says, I was an artist and trained to be a commercial artist, Massive Panda, so I was used to being a weirdo. Flit says, what mic does Alpha use? A Shure SM7B?
No, I use a Rode NT1.
And then
Rode
Massive said,
NT1.
And then Massive says, Batman the animated series was one of the greatest of all time. I'm sorry, but the newer Cape Crusader series on Amazon Prime just doesn't hit the same. I'll have to go back and give it another try, though.
I know that the Laughing Fish episode was based on an actual old comic that they had adapted. So a lot of that stuff was adapted from older comics. At least I think it was a lot of it. Maybe it was just here and there.
Hate you! Hate you!
Ah. I could almost feel the droplets on my face.
No. Oh, Sketchbook, they paced them very well. Sad that Batman the anime series never got a real ending. It's just turned into the adventures of Batman and Robin, and then it ended. Rogue One. Is it from a galaxy far, far away? Thank you, Metal. Says bless you. Phil, I said a road was my second guess. Massive says my sketchbook, haha, I was drawing in school all the time, so I might have blown my cover a bit as a weirdo, haha. Sketchbook still though for a lot of us it was our intro into the Batman world. Yeah, I knew a little bit
Mhm.
about Batman before that. I think obviously I found out about a few new characters because my intro, of course, to Batman was na 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 Batman.
Mhm.
Batman. Bam.
Yep.
Oof. Wow.
Same here. Actually, before the Batman '89 movie with Michael Keaton, they would play marathons. So I got a crash course in Batman '66.
Sketchbook says, I used to draw followers and the names of ribbons for the girls in school. First attention, that first for attention, then for money's flowers. Stupid autocorrect. Huh.
Yeah, I drew for attention. It's one of those icebreakers where people see a drawing and then they say, "Hey, you draw really good," and then they start talking to you if they see you drawing. So you don't have to actually initiate a conversation.
Yeah, I haven't done
They
that
say,
for a
"Hey, what are you
while.
drawing?"
I haven't done
Yeah,
that for a while. I should do it again.
maybe.
I used to take my sketchbooks everywhere I went.
Well,
Massive
I guess you were a
says,
sketchbook pro.
yeah, I just didn't have my sketchbook 340. I had it 360.
Aha.
Massive says, sketchbook. Yeah, overall, I like the OG Batman, the animated series, but there were a few things I really appreciate about the new adventures, like the Scarecrow's redesign. That looked cool. Scarecrow did, but Joker was weird looking. Sketchbook, yeah, he, you talk back. That's when they walk away. At least to me.
Oh. Oh man, I caught it. No, you're contagious, Cross.
Yeah, over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Massive says, yeah, to Sketchbook, yeah, I actually preferred him with his original eyes and lipstick. Sketchbook says, haha, Alpha, I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? You didn't do nothing, did you?
Yeah, I did. You just didn't notice.
You're doing nothing for Christmas. Massive says, yeah, I think you had to be a certain age to appreciate that Adam West Batman. I used to watch the reruns at my grandmother's house while my parents were at work. I was like, what the hell is this? And Sketchbook says, then you talk back, stupid, autocorrect again. It's doing it to me lately. And Matthew Cougar says, hi, hello. Uh, Metal says, bless you too, Alpha. Fitzjoseph here and says, hi, everybody. Sketch says hi to Fizz. Yeah, well, my mom got me into the Adam West Batman, so. And that was probably, like less than 10 years after it came out, because it came out in 77 or 67, right?
Uh, 66.
66. So, like I was under 10, probably or under 7 when my mom was watched it with me around or whatever. So, it was probably like 10, around 10 years into maybe reruns for me for it, but I was under
Hmm.
10, so. Adam West Batman premiered before the Ford Mustang. Dang, that's old.
Wow.
Okay, so still need to do the lighting for Sunset in panel 1 for the mirrored version. But, I'm at 10 after 11. So, my time.
Uh-oh.
Nothing wrong with that, but I usually go for the 2 hours. So let's see what. Let's see. Yeah, panel. Well, that's starting to look pretty good. I take it that is Sunset, right? In that panel.
Yep. He's breaking the ice shield that Snowdrift made in anger. And then it shatters. Psh.
Yeah. But looking good. Maybe by next week we might be able to have this page to be colored.
Mm-hmm. If I actually keep working on this, well, actually, I'm thinking about eating pancakes now. But yeah, if I could probably get this done today because I'm between assignments right now with my job.
uh, Maybe even get on to page 6.
Yeah, I think so. It's a possibility.
Yay! Finally, I'm gonna be off page 5.
That's gonna be great.
Hey, well, anything you would like to promote, Alpha?
No, nothing comes to mind right now. Let's have a great Saturday,
Yeah, it's
everyone.
been great talk about everything.
Or else.
Sketchbook says, yeah, pancakes. Sounds good.
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. It was great having y'all here. Check out Matthew's thing, the nightstand. I'm not sure whether that's or the Night Stalker. Sorry, I'm not sure whether that's on his own website or on a crowdfunding website. Check that out. It looked good the last time I looked. I should probably try and get a PDF or something of it if he's got that. And yeah, check that out. And of course, go check out the Snowdrift Ashcan over on Global Comics. Hopefully, sometime this weekend, I will have it up on my website to download. To get off of Google Docs to download for free. So yeah, thanks very much for everybody coming by. Thanks for Flit coming. Not Flit. Alpha coming on, and Metal says he's going to bed, and my sketchbook says y'all have a blessed Saturday. I'm watching you always. And Flit says pocket saying gift. I read Snowdrift's Ashcan and left a comment. Cool. I liked it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Matthew. We'll catch
Do you
you
have a
all.
link?
Yeah, there's a link already in the thing. It's pinned, so people can just click it. And I'm
Okay,
glad you liked it,
perfect.
Matthew. This is, hopefully get people interested to buy the actual Snowdrift 2 when it hopefully comes out later this year as a crowdfunding. Or at this point, it looks like it might be early next year, hopefully, or at the latest.
I'm slow. I'm sorry.
No problem. Anyways, we'll catch y'all later, people. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and
God bless.
wonderful day. night, whatever it might be for you. Love y'all.